Amanda the Diabetic here. So, hello. I guess I did a different intro because I was told from my brother that I am very boring. And that I need more enthusiasm and that, yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'll change things up. Today I wanted to tell my story of how I was diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic. And I'm sorry ahead of time before I get started if the camera moves. I'm on my bed, so if I move, the camera moves. So it all started last summer when I started running cross country. I started losing a lot of weight. I started eating more. I started drinking more. What does it sound like? I was more thirsty. Let's say that. I was more thirsty. And we didn't think anything of it really. We're just like, is this part of cross country? Like, yeah. And I started going to the bathroom more. Oh my god. We're like, whatever. And then all of a sudden my eyesight started going. And we're like, is this weird? So I took vitamin D pills and we thought I had a vitamin D deficiency. And then all of a sudden my eyesight came back. And then my knees started hurting and I was diagnosed with Osgood-Schlatter, but that goes away when you get older. It's basically when my bone grows faster than the tendon and then the tendon stretch and yada yada yada. I'm talking about my diabetics. And then my face was super red every time I ate something, every time I did exercise. It just lit up like a Christmas tree, like red. I'm talking red. And it was really bumpy too. And we're like, okay, really? Do we have to do this? So we didn't really think anything of it. And we thought maybe it's just, we thought something of it, but we're like, it's not a skin disorder. Maybe it's a milk allergy. So I've had no dairy. But it still stayed. And then in June, like 2 weeks ago, June, I had my physical, and they're like, you need to go to ER. I'm like, what? They're like, you have ketones in your urine. And I'm like, okay. They're like, that's not supposed to happen. You're a type 1 diabetic. And I'm like, you just drew blood. Come on, I want juice. And they didn't let me have juice because it has sugar in it. And yes, I can have sugar, but at the time, I was really high. I mean, my blood sugar's still high, but it'll work itself down. I promise. And so I went to the ER for a couple hours, and then they got me a room, and I was in the hospital, and that's how I was diagnosed. Hope you enjoyed. I'll be doing a part 2 tomorrow, and then in the future, probably in the next 3 days, I'll be doing tips that I've learned in the last 3 weeks of being a diabetic. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed. I'll be doing a part 2 tomorrow, and then in the future, probably in the next 3 days, I'll be doing tips that I've learned in the last 3 weeks of being a diabetic. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed.